Hi, I'm Fiona. Welcome to Caithness Movement Therapy. In this video, I'd like to introduce you to a movement flow called the arch and flatten. This is a foundational flow of gentle somatic yoga and could be added to other flows to form a series called Restore the Core, which is all about repatterning the center of the body, creating a firm foundation that moves with grace and ease and allows you to be adaptable and avoid injury, and also to relieve chronic pain and tension where they exist. So the arch and flatten is a lovely movement. It's teaching the front and back of the body to coordinate as they should. How often do you hear somebody say they just bent forward to get their toothbrush and their back went? Simple little movements like that can be the straw that broke the camel's back. Really, there's tension building up. There's a problem with how the body is working and coordinating itself. And when you want to contract the front of the body and lean forward, the poor back line hasn't got the elasticity to release as it should, so it feels pulled and strained. It contracts in response, and it's the fascia that contracts to protect you, and then bang, you have pain and possibly compression of nerves and all of the horrible symptoms that just feel like you can't move. So the arch and flatten is great if you have chronic pain or tension in your back. It's also great if you have acute pain or tension. If you are in the situation that your back pain is so bad, you're finding difficulty moving, then remember you always have the power of visualization when it comes to gentle somatic yoga. You can find a comfortable position, listen to the instructions, and imagine that you are making those movements. That will stimulate the brain and the nervous system and the soft tissue into creating change with how they are connecting with one another, but without putting your body under any extra strain of movement when it's on maximum defense. So please feel free to do that if you are in a very acute situation. Otherwise, we're going to move to the mat. I'm going to teach arch and flatten on the floor in this video. I will be putting another video up which teaches you to do it seated, or you can just sit and follow the instructions as I talk on the mat. So find yourself a comfortable position, please, lying on your back, knees bent, feet flat on the mat, if that's comfortable, or you can have your legs straight out, and we're going to begin with a scan. So finding yourself a comfortable position on your mat, as I said, either knees straight or knees bent, whichever suits your back better. You may well find if you have back pain that knees bent gives a little bit of relief as it's less strain on the muscles. And we're going to start with a body scan. So lying as neutrally as you can, where your body takes you, and just notice how you feel arranged on the floor. Taking your attention from your head, down through your neck and your shoulders, being aware of your symmetry and sensations that you feel. Whether one shoulder feels slightly more pressed into the floor, whether one feels drawn towards the ceiling or drawn towards your ears. Moving on through the chest and the spine. Do your spinal muscles feel the same left to right? Perhaps you might lie here and feel like a banana. Sometimes things can be contracted down one side and pull you into a curved position. Coming down to your lower back, taking time to notice how your lower back connects to the floor. It might bridge away from it, it might be flat. Notice any sensations you have there. And remembering, of course, that we are exploring and observing with curiosity. We're not trying to see what's right or wrong. We're just noticing things as they are in this moment before we do the flow, so that we have something to compare with when we're finished, allowing the brain and the nervous system to process any changes and hopefully take those on board, integrating them into our body as we move on. So then noticing your pelvis and your hips, again, symmetry and sensation. How do you feel? What do you feel as you lie on the floor? What's your body telling you? And then down into the legs and the feet. Sometimes you might even notice that the feet rest at different angles. Again, that's something to watch and something to notice if you have change after the flow. So body scanning you can usually do in 30 seconds to a minute. If you wish to take longer, just pause the video and spend a little bit more time wandering around your body. Moving into the flow. The position for this is bending your knees, feet about hip width apart, just making sure your pelvis feels stable and supported and you feel comfortable. If you find that you can't get comfortable lying down, and you can do this on a bed if you wish, it's a little bit more difficult because you have a softer surface, so there's less feedback and the movements can be a little bit more tricky. But it's better to be on a bed and be comfortable than to be on the floor and feel discomfort and pain. And if you can't find a way to be comfortable lying, then try it sitting up on a chair with your feet resting on the floor, making sure you're fully supported, and just find somewhere you can be as comfortable as you can so you haven't got the distraction of pain that sets off defense mechanisms in the body and really doesn't allow you to gain the maximum benefit that you can from these movements. Okay, so we're going to start with an arch. And remember, please, all movements need to be within a comfortable range, so never any pain or strain. As you come into your movement, you will find there's a natural stopping point where the body says, that's my edge. If that edge is uncomfortable, drop back 5 or 10% and see if you can find the end range that is comfortable, keeping the body safe and happy and able to relax and change. Again, if the movements can't be done comfortably, please visualize. You will find over time, as you visualize, you get changes, and then hopefully you will be able to move into actually producing movement. So we're going to look at the muscles that run along the spine, between the ribs and the top of the pelvis. So you want to think about shortening through that area of the lower back. So gently squeezing those muscles, slowly and smoothly as you can, so that you feel your pelvis start to rock forwards in that direction. Your tailbone will press gently towards the floor. Your back may well lift and bridge off the floor. It might not, but your tummy will soften towards the ceiling. Chest and shoulders stay as relaxed as you can. And then release that tension, lengthening through the lower back muscles, coming back to your neutral position, and then completely relaxing. Keep your breath steady throughout, but if you find you can't relax at that end point, a cleansing breath can be really helpful. So breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, and let your body melt into the mat as you exhale. Okay, coming into another arch, engaging the back muscles very gently, feeling your pelvis roll forwards, tailbone moving towards the floor. Feel your tummy opening to the ceiling. Again, chest and shoulders stay relaxed. And release. Lengthen and soften. Back into neutral. Allow your body to completely let go. Use your breath if you need to. You might find between each movement that you need to have a fidget. Quite often as we go through somatic movement flows, there will be a change with each movement. And that might mean you need to change your position. So please feel free to do that. Whatever it takes to keep you feeling comfortable. Really listen to your body's feedback, and if it says move, then move. Okay, last time for an arch. So squeezing those lower back muscles, engaging them, feeling them gently contract. Really have your attention on what you feel as you move. Come to that end point and pause. And then release and relax, lengthening and softening through the lower spine till you come back to neutral, and then let your body go. Sometimes you might feel you have twitches or tremors as you move or when you rest, and that is just the nervous system working out what's happening in your body, adding contractions, releases, finding that balance point that's our optimum position. But when we're not used to being in it, Everything has to repattern to allow that to happen. So if you find that happening, these tremors and these twitches, just allow them to happen, relax into them, and let your body find its way. Okay, coming to the flatten part of the movement, we're going to engage the deep abdominal muscles. So you don't want to just be thinking about shortening rectus abdominis in the center here, just bringing the pelvis and the ribs together. You want to think about squeezing all these muscles towards your spine so the lower back gently flattens into the mat. It's almost like you were doing up a pair of trousers that were a little bit too tight. And then you release and let yourself relax. Use your breath if you need to. Otherwise, just keep your breath steady at the moment. Okay, so again, engaging the abdominals, feeling your belly button come towards your spine, shoulders as relaxed as you can, feeling your lower back press gently into the floor. Try not to put too much pressure through your feet. Obviously, they're there for balance, but you want the effort to come from these muscles rather than pushing yourself down through the floor. Always gentle. And then release, allowing the abdominals to soften and completely relax. Okay, one last time. Engaging those tummy muscles, feeling the spine gently move towards the floor. You might even feel your pelvis tilt backwards a little and your coccyx, your tailbone, coming away from the floor this time. But keeping your hips down, you don't want to actually lift your hips towards the ceiling. And then release. And completely relax. Okay. So if you feel comfortable with those movements, you can then put them together in a little bit of a more dynamic flow. If you want to take some more time to learn them and see how they feel, then feel free to pause and go back and again focus on each movement repeatedly just to make sure you know how it feels and make sure you've got that relaxation moment at the end of each arch and each flatten. But if you want to move it more dynamically, you can put them together. So we're going to actually put the breath with the movement this time. It's not something we often do in gentle somatic yoga. Very often you just let the breath flow at its natural rhythm and rate. But with this one, it can be quite nice to actually engage the breath to help you with the movement. So we're going to do an arch, into a flatten, and then rest. Okay. So taking a breath in, gentle arch, engaging those lower back muscles. Pelvis rolling forwards, shoulders stay relaxed. Pause. Breathe out and release that effort through the lower back, feeling it lengthen and soften. Breathe in and then breathe out, and as you breathe out, engage those abdominal muscles coming into a flatten. Pause. Inhale, release the abdominals. Exhale and relax. Okay, and again, take a breath in and arch. Feeling your tummy open to the ceiling, your pelvis roll forwards a little and your back muscles gently engage. Breathe out, release the lower back, pelvis comes back to neutral. Breathe in and then breathe out, engaging the abdominals. Gently pressing lower spine to the floor. Pause. Breathe in. Releasing the abdominals, opening and softening the tummy to that neutral position. Breathe out and release. And then one last set. Breathing in. Arching. Finding that natural stop and pause. Breathe out back to neutral. Inhale in neutral. Exhale and flatten. Inhale, softening back to neutral. And then exhale and completely relax. And then very gently returning to your scan position. Taking a few moments to scan through your body. Notice what sensations have been produced from those movements. Noticing if there's any change in your symmetry or the sensations and feelings of your spine connecting to the floor. Sometimes you can feel profound changes, and then other days there can be a sensation of not noticing much change at all. On those days, we try and contain the frustration you might feel and just trust that the movements are making a difference. They will be helping repattern your nervous system and bring you back to more balance. Taking 2 or 3 deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, allowing yourself to completely relax. When you do feel ready to get up, gently bringing your knees to a bent position and turn onto one side to begin with. Giving yourself a moment there to rest. When you have changed your core muscles, sometimes it can take a moment for the nervous system to recognize those changes when you move. So it can feel a little bit strange, a little bit like putting on new shoes. So just take as much time as you need to allow your body to catch up with those new sensations. So staying in this position for a few moments until you feel ready to get up. And when you do, please take your time, using your hands to help you and just listening to your body's feedback and managing it in a way that feels comfortable for you. So that's the arch and flatten. A really important move in gentle somatic yoga, really helpful for back care and back pain, allowing you to bring your core to its optimum balance and release. You can speed up the movements a little bit more than I demonstrated them, but not too much. In gentle somatic yoga, less is more. We don't do many repetitions, we just aim for high quality movements with lots of awareness of your sensation to repattern that nervous system, help it make changes, but without fatiguing it or overdoing it so it becomes a simple movement or an exercise rather than a somatic movement, a movement that has awareness. And that's what allows that repatterning to happen. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below, and I look forward to sharing more videos with you soon. Thank you.